Hello and welcome to Tales from Beyond the Sofa.
Ooh.
I feel like I should have said that way more dramatic. Like, Tales from Beyond the Sofa. I'm Tom, and with me, the ghost of Deepa.
I died and I'm back.
Just can't get rid of her.
No, I will haunt you to you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even beyond the grave, I shall haunt you.
Anyways, so probably should explain the whole marital issues thing.
Yeah.
And the transition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just wasn't working.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't working.
No.
We were just struggling to...
We were struggling to find our rhythm in that whole process, I think.
It's hard to find the time to read.
Yep.
You know?
And there was so much going on in what we were doing. It wasn't really focused in something.
Yeah, and the title kind of constrained it.
Yeah,
a little. It
made
made everything always had to be comic book related. And a lot of the stuff we will be doing will be comic book related, but we have so much more room to breathe now. I mean, looking at our schedule, our next, 8 episodes?
Something like that.
Yeah, we've got 8 episodes.
Yeah, 8 episodes pending.
And it's not all comic books.
No. It's actually, do you know what, I'm actually looking forward to this. Looking forward to going beyond superheroes.
Yes. So Beyond the Sofa is, basically, it's whatever we watch on TV, on our screen.
Or even read on the sofa.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything.
We read, play, watch, whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good to be back.
It is indeed, now we've got that off our chest.
Yes.
What is it? The elephant in the room, is that what they say?
Yeah. We just jumped straight on that elephant, rode it around the room. There was no avoiding it. So yeah, how have you been?
I'm alright, actually. Yeah. It's been a fun day today. It's been alright today.
Yeah.
Got caught in the rain, but shopping.
It's just been raining. It's raining right now. I hope the mics. We've got a whole new setup as well. We've got these mic balls. They're really good. And I'm hoping they're not picking up the rain too much. I'm hoping these mic balls are. Oh yeah, I can hear it through
my mic. I just realised. Do you know what?
No, that's just the sound of the room.
Oh, is that just the static from the room?
Yeah, that's just the ambience of the room. So
it does sound like rain, though.
No, it's not even raining right now. It stopped raining. That's how good it is. These balls actually stop the rain. So, yeah, this is not sponsored, but yeah, totally get these Sub-Zero thingies.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
They control the weather. So, we thought we'd go in, kind of ease ourselves in, didn't we, with like a sort of comic book thing. So,
yes, because
the Joker's... Well, we're recording this a week before the Joker comes out.
Indeed.
Yeah. So we wanted to do something in line with that. Mm-hmm. We didn't really want to watch The Killing Joke again.
No.
We didn't really want to watch Sex in the Killing Joke.
No.
Yeah.
That was such a pointless story thread.
Yeah, and we could have watched, I don't know, I guess The Dark Knight again, or...
We could have...
Or 89 Batman.
Yeah, but the thing is that all of those have been... well, maybe not the 89 Batman, but everything else has been hashed out quite a lot.
Yeah.
And this is...
there's so many YouTube video essays on those movies, and...
Like, what more?
Yeah.
I mean, we could probably say more from our own opinion,
you've probably heard it all before.
Yeah.
There's all some variation of an opinion. There's nothing new to be said about those.
No.
So we decided to do a film that was the inspiration.
Yes.
They used as the inspiration for the new Joker movie, The King of Comedy, starring Robert De Niro, directed by Martin Scorsese.
Indeed. I mean, this was a period of time when they were actually working together on a few movies.
Yeah, this was their youth. This was just a few years after Taxi Driver, 1982. Mm-hmm. So it was young De Niro, young Martin Scorsese, and it was actually really good. weirdly, it wasn't as dark as Taxi Driver.
No, and it's not as violent as Taxi Driver
It wasn't
either.
violent at all.
There's
But
nothing in it.
It was...
But there's hints of it, and that's what it keeps you on the edge for some reason. This movie just keeps you kind of teetering on the edge, expecting something.
Yeah, you're just always waiting for something to happen. It's weird. There were a lot of words I thought I'd use to describe this movie. Going in, I was going to be like, yes, it's it's a tour de force. And, it's I didn't think I was going to describe it as exciting. And it was an exciting movie, not as in like action packed or anything, but the filmmaking itself, like the choices they made, it was exciting to watch.
Yeah.
You never knew what was going to happen, even though it's drama and it's people talking to each other.
Yeah.
You just never knew.
It's a very, very high-end drama.
Yeah.
In that regard,
It's very tense.
And very tense. Yeah, indeed.
But the tension doesn't come from these big moments.
No,
it comes from like
the little things.
It's the whole thing is just so, I don't know, small. I guess is the best way to describe it. Every moment of drama is very small drama until like the third act.
Yeah.
But those first two acts are the most tense.
Yes. And you don't feel comfortable at all. You don't feel at ease in your chair. Like, you can't watch this movie.
All right, before we go into it, uncomfortable. Put a pin in that.
Okay.
Just keep a pin in that. We haven't said anything about what the movie's actually about. Okay.
This is true. All right.
You're going to give us a rundown of the story.
All right, so it's about a guy who...
What's his name?
His name is... what was his name? Oh, Rupert Pupkin.
Rupert Pupkin.
That's it. But they always get his name wrong.
Yeah, nobody gets his name right throughout that whole movie.
No.
Until the third act.
Yes, until the third act.
What is it? He says, easy to misspell, hard to pronounce.
Yeah, something like that.
Hard to pronounce, easy to misspell. That he keeps saying that every time he has to spell his name to someone.
Indeed. And then, but like I said, he's trying to find his way in comedy and can't do it, keeps getting rejected.
But he's obsessed over like this guy called Jerry Langford, played by Jerry Lewis, who's like a kind of, I don't know, what would be the modern day equivalent? Like a...
what would be?
I keep saying Jay Leno, but that's like 20 years old. That's a 20-year-old reference. I don't watch any of that stuff anymore.
Well, Jay Leno, yes, indeed.
Yeah. There's Stephen Colbert, those kind of guys with the sort of...
Like talk show or...
The nightly comedy / talk show. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys, and he thinks
his way in is through Jerry.
Yeah, he basically kidnaps Jerry to get on TV. That's the premise. It's a struggling comedian who kidnaps a nighttime talk show host to get on television.
I mean, like I said this to you earlier, it's a really simple premise when you think about it in terms of a story, but everything else is super complicated.
The people are complicated.
Oh God, indeed. I mean,
the film is complicated because you never know what you're watching. You don't know because... you get through very quickly in the film. You realise I keep calling him Artie, but Rupert is schizophrenic.
Yes.
And there are moments where it's very clear that we're living through a fantasy right now, but then there are moments where it's like you're not
quite
sure. Yeah. Sometimes the fantasy turned out to be reality, and sometimes reality turned out to be a fantasy, and it's really. There are large parts of the movie where it's really hard to tell what's what, and it's just so brilliantly done because there's no like change of filter or
nothing.
Nothing about the way the film is shot changes.
No, and it feels so natural. Everything in that movie just feels so natural, even when they do jump from fantasy to reality, because it confuses your brain. It just feels natural to proceed that way. Yeah,
and it's. I remember when we were watching it very early in the film, I turned to you and I said, this film's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you did, indeed.
And then you had to remind me, well, maybe that's the point. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be uncomfortable or not, but the movie was making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, you kind of like Pipkin, but you don't like it.
Pupkin.
Pupkin. See, even I'm getting it wrong.
Pupkin. I've got it open in front of me. I'm keeping it open in front of me so I don't...
But Pupkin in himself is, like you said, all the characters complicated. But
Pupkin, He has no sense of boundaries.
No, not at all.
You get that sense very much at the beginning when where he pretends to save, because it turns out that the girl that was waiting for him in the limo is his friend. Yeah.
Who we will talk about later.
Masha. Marsha. Okay. Anyways.
Masha.
Yeah, it's all a setup, and he rescues he rescues Jerry from like all the fans and everything like that, and gets in the car with him, and
then kind of just
kind of like. Yeah, just blindsides him.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Blindsides him into the car and just starts talking to him.
Well, just gives him the elevator pitch, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, but you can see how uncomfortable Jerry is. You can see he does not want him there. I mean, he even tries to get rid of him.
Yeah, but he's very convincing. Yeah, he's like, look, I cut my hands, for you. I had your back, so just drop me off anyway, but like at least just drive me away so I have that moment with you. And then drives him to his own home.
I know.
It's like he gives him enough time to drive him to his own home.
Well, I mean, do you think that shows hubris in terms of Jerry Lewis? Because it's like, yeah, I've got nothing to fear. This weirdo is just coming to my car, and I'm going to.
He's such a nobody.
Yeah. That he doesn't really. I mean, he treats him that way as well.
But then
throughout the whole movie.
But then he gives him that sense of false hope.
Yes.
Where he's like, call my secretary. We'll arrange.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, we'll arrange something. But he's and that's the little hook. That's the hook. That's what gets him hooked on Jerry for the rest. That's where his obsession is.
Yeah.
The seed of his obsession. Mm-hmm. And I think like modern cinema. If this was made nowadays.
Yeah.
The whole psychosis thing.
Yes.
Because
it's not really touched upon as much. I mean, you can see it, but it's not explained.
Straight away it's shown. But nobody puts a name on it. Is that what you mean by it's not explained?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Nobody puts a name on it. Nobody stops the film for a second to explain that he's clearly schizophrenic.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think if nowadays, if they were making this movie, this story, they would make the Joker movie, wouldn't they? They'd make it more like dark. It's turning into like a murderous, and he's not violent.
He's not at all violent.
He kidnaps Jerry, but
even that isn't.
It's kind of
It's so. It's funny in the way he does it. It's amateurish. You know he's an amateur. I mean, as a viewer, you just think it's funny.
Yeah. Do you remember there was a film that came out in the mid-80s, I think it was, where I think it's Judge Reinhold is in it. Do you remember Judge Reinhold?
No.
The skinny dude from the Beverly Hills Cop movies.
Oh yeah.
The super friendly skinny dude.
Yes. Oh yes.
Him and somebody else. But him and his wife, they have to like kidnap somebody to save his job or something like that. Okay. And it's all done very amateurish. There's a scene where they're wearing like Huey and Dewey masks, but and it kind of reminded me of that movie. I got it. This is just gonna bug me now.
IMDb.
Yep. You talk. I'm just gonna look this up quickly.
Okay. Oh, okay. So so you're talking about psychosis. Now there's this scene in which Pumpkin actually believes he's in a meeting with Jerry. And it's all we know it's all in his head. Well, it's shown afterwards that it's all in his head, but the way they've kind of filmed it makes Pumpkin look so
the scene
small
where
in the chair.
I was like the whole time I was like, he looks like the little child in a little child chair. It's this weird angle and like weight.
But there's a key moment as soon as he stands up and you see Jerry and Pumpkin.
He raises
it like at the same level. It just feels like it's his ego.
Because up until that point he's like, "Hey kids, you've got a future." It's and he's like, he's the hero, he's the idol, and he's like lavishing him with all these compliments, and he's just sitting there, and there's this tiny little thing in the chair, and then it's when he's like, "Join me," and he steps out of the chair, and he suddenly just grows.
Yeah, and you can tell that's his ego.
Ruthless people. There we go. There we go. It was driving me crazy. I'm sorry.
right mid-sentence as well. And now I'm not even going to remember but what was I talking about? I have no idea. What were you talking about?
I think Danny DeVito's in it, or it's either Danny DeVito or Rhea Perlman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that was driving me crazy. But yeah, it reminded me of Ruthless People.
Oh, okay. Fair. I don't remember that movie, but I've probably seen it. You know, when it's like in the background somewhere.
Yeah, and now, now I really want to watch Ruthless People. And then you'll see what I mean. But yeah, he imagines that meeting, he imagines it, and then
he makes it his
convinces
reality.
himself that it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in that, he's like, "Hey, man, you know, like,
come to my house.
Come to my house for the weekend,
and we'll go and we'll
hash it out.
We'll hash it out.
We'll work on the material.
Yep.
Work on the material together.
Can I bring my
girlfriend?
Can I bring somebody?
Yeah.
He never refers to
Rita
as his girlfriend, which.
Yeah, because that's it as well. He's in love with his it's his high school sweetheart. Mm-hmm. And she very quickly kind of cottons on.
Yeah, she sussed him out straight away.
You had to point out during the first date there was this weird dude in the background just mimicking him.
It's such a pretty scene.
I really wanted to rewind that scene because I didn't catch it until the end, and I'm like, what the hell?
So basically, this guy walks in and then sits behind Rita and Pumpkin. And, you know,
I remember they really kind of make a point of making sure that you see him enter behind them.
Yes.
But after that point, I lost interest.
Yeah. And then you can see him, you know, when Pumpkin gets super excited and starts waving his hands around and things like that. You see this guy in the background just doing the action, just completely copying him, being a parrot. And then you've got Rita, who's just standing there, just giggling away. And Pumpkin has no idea. He just thinks she's laughing at what he's saying.
Yeah, he thinks she's entertained by him.
Yeah, exactly that.
I keep playing with her mic because I keep hearing like pops in my headphone. I don't know what's different because we've got exactly the same equipment here, and I'm not hearing any pops on my side.
Oh dear.
But maybe it's because you're so much more animated, and I'm just like, whatever, man.
Right now, usually it's the other way around.
Hey, I've been at this computer all day, you know, editing another podcast. You know, what have you been doing? All you've been doing is you've been doing is taking care of the family and doing, you know, everything to keep this family together and.
You better be careful right now.
You know that's where I was heading in the first place.
Oh, my feminist husband.
You know that I was heading to that point, and there was no way I was going to belittle what you do.
Nope, no way. But they do belittle what he does.
Oh, nice.
Because you've got that whole bit.
No one takes him seriously.
Nobody takes him seriously. Even when he goes to the studio. And
no, they do, though, but he perceives it. Because from his point of view, you know, he feels like he's being fobbed off. But I even said to you at the time, like, the advice, that was solid advice you gave
I completely agree with you there. I mean, you know, she's telling him, start from the bottom. Well, you've got some good stuff, just start from the bottom. Go to some clubs.
Yeah, do it live, see how people react to it.
And then come back, let us know, and we'll come and see you, guaranteed.
And he keeps pushing, and he's not willing to take that as an answer.
But he doesn't.
And he ruins his own chances.
At every single point, when anybody says no or rejects him, he doesn't hear it. He continues. He pushes everybody's buttons until they flip into his.
So in his mind, he's always the good guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, oh, come on. In his mind, he's just like, no, just hear me out. Just hear me out. No, just do it as I'm asking. Do as I'm asking.
Hear it.
If you just do as I'm asking, then, you know, everything will be fine. Yeah. And then they lose it. Mm-hmm. You know, he never actually loses it with anyone.
No, not with anybody. Even when this is why the kidnapping scene is so funny, because he hasn't lost. He's not losing it. He's just so chilled.
He's like really apologetic and like, hey, look, you know, we'll have you out of here by
1:30.
Yeah.
Oh no! First of all, he said 11:30. He goes, oh no, wait, it has to be. There's a media blackout, so they can't do that. So okay, 1:30, we'll let you out, and you know. But yeah, he is never I mean, you expect him to pop at any point. Imagine this, right? You go through life with all that rejection in a very small space of time. Most people would lose it. They would either... I mean, obviously he's had some form of psychotic break.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I think he was on his way to one.
One, yeah.
I think this is he's that trope of a character where he's lived with it, but it's never been overt enough for anyone to notice or to pay attention. But it's enough to kind of disrupt his life.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's that kind of...
Whereas Misha, on the other hand, is a complete wreck.
Marsha,
sorry,
oh,
Marsha.
Yeah. Marsha is his
such a great
co-stalker.
Yes.
Right, so he and Marsha, they're best friends, and they both stalk Jerry Langford.
I mean, she's completely in love with Jerry
and
Langford.
they're the opposites in every way. She's the uptown girl with the nice pad, and he's the kind of... He's
at home with his mum.
Yeah, is he just a mail guy? Is he a mailroom guy? Because you see him at his job once, and he's just giving people these big envelopes and then leaving.
Looks like he is. I loved her character. I thought she was a great addition, and the contrast between Pupkin and Marsha is amazing.
Yeah, because she's all crazy and volatile,
she's literally on the edge.
And he's whiny and very kind of like and passive.
Yeah, I mean they call each other out all the time.
Yeah.
Throughout that movie,
and they have this kind of like
love-hate relationship,
and it's this weird dynamic because it's a friendship built on the mutual stalking of an individual.
Yeah,
and they have like etiquette and things like that, and
I mean they have this argument in the middle of the street. They're just having this big, massive
throwdown argument
of what. It's like us having an argument sometimes.
But it's
what we did for each other at that time.
And he's like, what about that time I waited 8 hours and then I just gave you my space so you could be near Jerry and what about that time?
Yeah, and what about when I gave you the last my last disc of the Jerry show?
Tape, that recording and
you go, oh, is it money that you want? Is it money? Here, go and take this money and take my letter and make sure you give it to him. All she wants him to do is give him a letter.
Yeah.
But the thing is, obviously, she manipulates him in funny ways as well. You know, there's that bit where he gets thrown out of the studio, and then she goes in. She kind of manipulates him to go and search. She goes, "Oh, they all lied to you. They lied to you."
She wasn't manipulated. She dropped knowledge on him. He's naive and trusting.
Oh God, he's definitely
naive.
Like,
oh, they said he's out. But the thing is, you got to remember, like, after that whole thing with Jerry at the beginning, when Jerry's like, call my secretary, that's when the sort of like the connection, that's what I meant by the hook.
Yeah.
He was hooked from that point.
Yeah.
He believes in Jerry.
Friends.
Yeah, he believes in Jerry. So it didn't occur to him that Jerry was just fobbing him off. So for Jerry to ignore him, that didn't even come into it. He was like, no, he wouldn't be ignoring me. Come on, that's ridiculous. So when they're all telling him Jerry's out, he's just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just hang out here and wait. You know, you can I mean, to you, me, and everybody else, they're very clearly fobbing him off.
Yes.
But he
can't see it. He just
he's in love. He's kind of infatuated, and he has Jerry's too nice. But the thing is as well, he's like, Jerry's a nice guy. Yeah. He and I are solid. And in his head is remember what he's been telling Rita and everything. That he and Jerry are tight now. You know, he wouldn't do that to a friend. He's convinced
himself of that. Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that to a friend. So that's when Marsha says like they're lying to you. He's like, well, hang on. And then he goes back up and gets thrown out of the building this time. Such
an interesting concept. Can you imagine yourself doing that though, going to that kind of extreme to get to what you want, like actually?
If I felt like it was actually going to get me anywhere, then yeah. But this was very clearly delusional. He was deluding himself.
I mean, you've got that. One of my favourite scenes. Well, I've got two favourite scenes in this movie. Right. So the first one is when Pupkin. I'm going to keep doing that. This is going to be
I'm loving it, to be honest.
Pupkin and Marsha end up at Jerry's holiday home and he's out golfing.
Yeah. And that was one of the scenes I was talking about where I wasn't sure if it was fantasy or reality. Yeah,
but so you've got this whole thing going on. Now, my favourite bit is when Jerry arrives at the door and he can't, and his butler can't actually open it.
That was so weird.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, having looked at all the facts, that actually happened. He couldn't open the door, and Jerry's reaction when he walked in is natural. It was completely improvised.
Do you know what's funny about that is that up until that point, Jerry Lewis hadn't done much improv.
No.
And they were all these kind of like counterculture actors, you know, they're like, no, it's all like on the fly and things like that. And he was so like,
he was nervous about it all, wasn't he?
He just couldn't, he wasn't
sure how.
Yeah, there was a point where he wasn't even sure if he wanted to do the movie anymore.
But then, do you know what, on the other hand...
But then, what I said to you afterwards, like, well, I said to you during that, it never really feels like anyone's acting.
No.
Everything feels so real in this film. And
most of
that scene you were talking about, Jerry Lewis just standing there, silent, arms crossed, just
stone.
And I was just like, this is incredible. This is Jerry fucking Lewis. This is the Nutty Professor. And I'm like, who is this guy? This is like, and Robert De Niro. Remember I said to you as well.
Yeah, go on.
Robert De Niro always plays Robert De Niro as far as I'm concerned. But I lost Robert De Niro very quickly in this film, and it was only every now and then I'd see that mole and be like, oh yeah, that's Robert De Niro.
But even in that scene, he cannot take no for an answer.
And he never knows when to end the conversation.
No, not at all.
That happens a lot during the film.
Even from the moment he meets Jerry, like he's waving at him from outside the hallway, and he's still waving. He does it to Marsha. He does it. He literally does it to nearly everybody he's saying.
Except his mother.
Except his mother, who he doesn't like at all. Fun fact, the voice is actually Scorsese's mum.
You were telling me this beforehand, like literally everybody else in that movie is not an actor, it's like a friend. Why did it end up costing 19 million then?
Because there was a writer's strike.
Oh.
And that basically pushed up production costs, and that's why it costs. That's why it costs some of that money.
Right.
But when you look at it, it doesn't look like a $19 million movie from 1983 or 82, 83.
It just looked like a really good film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I don't know. It's like it's pure filmmaking. There's no. It's just tell the story.
Yeah.
You know, there's no fancy shots. There's
no, not at all.
I mean, the only fancy shots you have are when you need
little bits in it.
Yeah, but the only fancy shots they use are when they need a fancy shot, like that fancy weird angle to make Robert De Niro look tiny. But it's just really simple and pure filmmaking. Yeah. It's tripods. It's and I loved. Okay, this is my little fun fact, and this was something I just thought about all the way through this movie, and it made me think, like, it made me again question what was real and what wasn't. Is the fact that they changed Jerry Lewis's character they changed the name to Jerry Langford. It was something else in the original script, and they changed it to Jerry Langford so that they could do these very natural shots out on the streets without like blocking off streets or anything like that. So people were just able to walk past him and go like, "Hey, Jerry." Yeah, so a lot of the fans
the only actors in that scene that were the only people.
Is it the woman at the phone booth?
The woman at the phone booth and the guy in the cab. They were the only two actors in that whole
obviously,
scene.
because look where the camera is. They just jump on the guy's bonnet as Jerry Lewis was going past. He's like, no, don't worry, Jerry Lewis will distract him. And then as Jerry walks past, he catches the camera. He's like, hey, where did you guys come from?
Fun fact on top of that, the woman, apparently that actually happened to Jerry on his way out somewhere. Some woman tried to accost him to talk to somebody.
Talk to my nephew. She's like, I love that as well, because she's like, I love you, you're the best. And she's like, talk to my nephew, stop what you're doing and talk to my nephew on the phone in Arkansas. And he's like, no, look, I've got places to be. And she's like, I hope you get cancer. It's the switch.
Because you don't expect it. And she's like this cute little old lady as well.
I hope you get cancer. He's just the worst. You see when he's walking away, he's like, yeah, I can't believe this guy.
Oh. Were those builders just lined up there, ready to just shout at him at that point?
I don't know what that was about. I mean, is that just a New York thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just builders just standing in a row waiting for like celebrities to walk past. Do they do it in shifts like that? The other, like that's just 1/3 of the crew, and the other 2/3 are just getting on with the job, and then.
So we got through the kidnapping and everything else, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
can we take a second to just talk about the performances?
Okay, well, I was going to come. All right, go on.
All right, no.
Well, I was going to talk about the second favourite scene.
Oh yeah.
Right.
What's your Okay, so what was your what was the second your favourite your other I don't want to say second favourite.
My other favourite.
Your other favourite scene.
When Jerry Lewis. Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
I don't know where that.
Do you want to finish your beer?
That might be a good idea. Don't know where that list came from.
Okay, we're back.
Ew.
We had a mic emergency. Okay, so we were talking about your other favourite scene, which is where Jerry's all taped up.
Taped up, and you've got Marsha, who's just about to seduce him.
No, but that was such a...
That's an incredible
that scene.
sequence.
That whole scene is just... That's... what's the actress's name? Right in front of me.
Bernhard. Bernhard?
Sandra Bernhard.
There we go. She's an out there comedian in herself.
Yeah, but
she's had to build a career.
This is such a...
But this is incredible.
And
I could not... you know what? She has an amazing voice. That's
amazing singing voice, yeah. But that whole scene, that whole beginning of that scene where she's talking about her relationship with her parents.
Yeah.
And...
It's like, they don't love me. They never tell me...
I never said I love them, and they never...
And I don't care.
Yeah.
But
they never told me they loved me, and I never said I love you.
And yeah. But that's all she wants. She just wants to be loved. By Jerry.
Well, it's a weird thing, it's like she was raised in this kind of cold, heartless environment, and now she just latches onto the idea of
who Jerry is. Really.
Yeah, that's like probably because the Jerry Langford character. He's got he's like a Johnny Carson. There we go. There's a reference. He's a Johnny Carson. He's probably been on TV for like 20 years.
Yeah.
He was probably she probably watched him every night growing up, and she fixated on him because he was the closest thing to a father figure or whatever, male role model, etc. And she fixated on him, and she was seeking that fulfillment that she didn't get from her parents.
He is her solace. I think it makes her feel safe.
Well, she's looking for belonging.
Yeah, she is. She's looking for belonging.
And she's also like what's the words? I can't remember the word, but there's a psychology word for it. But she's basically transferring her love, or no, what's the word? You know the word. Projecting.
Oh, there we go.
She's projecting her love for him onto like his love. She's projecting her love for him onto him. Like that. She's projecting it in the way that she expects it back. It's a given that it's reciprocal. Yeah. Because again, her and Rupert.
Yeah. Yeah. They're both exactly the same. Like they have the same kind of psychology behind it all. It's like, but in different ways, but it's the same psychological.
Yeah, they're fixated on it.
Fixation.
But they're both looking for different things. Yeah, he's looking for a friend and a mentor, and she's looking for
fame. I think he's actually looking for.
He just wants to be the king of comedy.
Yeah, he wants to be.
But that whole fame thing, if you look at his routine, it's about everyone just hating him, and shitty parents and shitty childhood, and he just wants to show everybody. The only reason he wants fame is to be like, look at me now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got that whole scene. Now this is definitely a dream sequence, where you've got Jerry introducing him on the show, and then he has this fake marriage.
Oh yeah, he has the fake marriage with Rita, and his old principal is the Ministry of the Peace or whatever.
And he feels vindicated because somebody's given him somebody's said sorry for all the bad things that have happened to him.
Sorry, I just wanted to finish.
That's right. It just...
He probably lays awake at night thinking about that, and he has done since high school, all the way through high school.
And don't forget, he's still latching onto his high school sweetheart.
Yeah. He's kind of stuck in this state of arrested development. He's stuck in his high school his high school still very plays very heavily on his mind. He never kind of got over it.
No, I think it just, without saying it, he had a troubled childhood.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't become that kind of a individual without a troubled childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, and it's funny, like, throughout the whole film, every time he delivers his comedy, you don't hear it.
No.
Do you remember there's that scene in his basement or whatever, he's got the
When
picture of the audience on his wall?
Yep. Sorry.
And he's performing his routine, but you can't hear it. You can just hear these loops of audience laughter, and you can hear his...
Canned laughter. I hate you right now.
Whatever happens, that's where I'm keeping that. So if I cut it out, no one will know why you hate me. But that's where I'm cutting in.
Oh, do you know what? People,
Okay,
it's really hard work being married to this guy. I love him, but it's just like, you drive me crazy, boy.
It's fun. I've got to get my jollies somehow. I am married after all.
Oh my god! Right, you wait and see now. You wait and see.
Well, it's true. I mean, like, marriage and with kids is just basically your life is not your own.
No,
so you
definitely
don't.
not.
You know, it's not like before before you had kids where you would just actively go out and seek jollies, whether it be a night out in the town with your mates or whatever. Now as a married man with 2 kids, I have to find my jollies elsewhere, and that way that elsewhere is winding you up.
I'm so easy to wind up, and he takes advantage of you.
Yeah, but I don't wind you up in a kind of like meh sort of way. I wind you up in a way that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
So you know.
All right.
So you know.
Oh, do I let him off for this? No, but it only makes me laugh because I know that you're joshing.
Exactly. If I really did it, then
you'd be flying to the moon and back.
I guess. What was I saying? We were talking about his stand-up routine.
Oh, there's someone knocking at the door.
1 second. And we're back. Can I hear you in the mic, please?
Yes, you can hear me in the mic. I can't hear anything in my headphones. Yes, I've got food stuck in my teeth.
Yeah, I've got pretzels stuck in my teeth. Sorry, we had a little knock on the door.
Big boy, our big man, big little man.
Yeah. Can't sleep. He's still reading. I went downstairs, he's still reading. And started pissing down with rain, so he just took a quick break.
Yeah.
So where were we? We were talking about
the tie-up scene.
We were talking about Rupert's comedy.
Oh yes, that's it. Mm.
That we never hear it.
No.
Until right at the end, when he gets to show it off, because he does his routine. Okay, but by this point, everybody knows that Jerry's been kidnapped.
Yes. And the FBI are after him, and
they catch him.
They catch him. He admits it as soon as they
He's
arrest
so calm.
him.
Well, he hands himself in.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the king. He basically kidnaps Jerry.
One minute. You know when he moves into the studio and he's talking to the cameraman? And
Your Highness, yes.
Brilliant.
But he's so calm the whole time.
Yeah, throughout the whole...
Because, he kidnaps Jerry.
Yep, and comes to a deal with the...
And he makes Jerry call the studio execs. Yep. And I read these cue cards. And that cue card scene was just so... It's upside down.
It's upside down.
It's upside down.
Jerry's so completely polite about it all as well.
He's just trying to stay calm. Yeah. He's... But...
And he's so accommodating. It's upside down, and then he has to turn it around.
But you can see he's like trying really hard not to get wound up.
Yeah.
He's like, You see it, you can read it on his face. He's like having to swallow any agitation. And one card's upside down, the next card's back to front.
and at one point he moves too fast.
Go back to the go back to the previous card. Alive again. Yeah. It's grammatically incorrect, but I think you get the idea.
Because the studio gets lots of prank calls saying that he has to go through this. He has to go through this
call and response.
Call and response sequence.
What do we call the second cameraman? What was it? Mary...
Shirley Temple?
No, it was Mary Kelly or... wait, no.
It's not Mary Sue.
No. I'll tell you who it was.
Oh. But it's such a funny little point to make. I mean, you know, just to confirm that it's the... Can you imagine...
Yeah, Mary Kelly.
Yeah, Mary Kelly.
The girl who was blind and deaf and mute. Yeah, they call him because he can't shoot. Very insensitive joke. Do you think that was Mary Kelly, the one who was like, "I'm the king"?
Yes.
And the whole thing is they have to bump off. They bump off this writer, this author, who's there to promote. He's like this up and coming author. He's like for his wife and his in-laws and his parents. And
he's like, "Are you sure?"
All the way from Ohio or something like that, and he ends up getting thrown out.
Only authorized people.
Okay, was that someone you were telling me earlier that like the mother is Scorsese's
the author
mum
didn't actually come up in the
TV exec, the lawyer is his lawyer, and.
No, I don't remember reading anything.
Was that the film's writer by any chance?
It might have been. I don't know actually.
Should we check it out? Hang on.
Go on, check it out.
Joe Strummer was one of the street scum.
Oh, you know when they're arguing in the street, Marsha.
Oh, the whole clash.
Yeah, that was the clash.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's Scorsese's favourite band.
The TV director was Martin Scorsese. Do you remember the one who actually found his jokes funny? Yeah, that was Martin Scorsese. He looks very different back then. I'm sure he had less hair back then than he does now. Clarence McKay, Bill Minkin. Who's Bill Minkin? I mean, he's nobody. He's just an actor. I'll edit all that down.
Yeah. Oh, disappointing.
No, just the big blank silence. Otherwise people would just be tapping their headphones, like, checking this, like, is this
still on?
Did something go wrong? Yeah. I actually just lost I spent so long just trying to figure out who the writer was that I've lost my train of thought.
All right. So they're going through the studio at this point now, aren't they? And then we're talking about...
Oh yeah, so he's basically handed himself into the studio.
And
he's sitting there so calmly with the FBI, and they're doing their FBI shtick, you know, like, no, we've got you, you know, you're under arrest. This is essentially, and he's like, he just still approaches it like he's a guest on a TV show.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing is, I don't care. I am a guest on this show.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when they arrest him and he just completely says, yeah, I understand.
I get it, but I'm still a guest at the show. And the TV exec guy comes in. He's like, oh, we'll get you whatever you need.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I need to go to makeup. Should probably go to makeup.
And they try to make you one.
Yeah.
No.
Put some red in his cheeks.
Still, to that moment, he does not flinch, not one bit.
He's so calm.
He is calm throughout that movie. Sorry.
He's like, because, I mean, he only really says it once. You know, like, well, then Jerry's dead. And as soon as he says that, it's like everyone's like, okay, cool, just give him what he wants.
Yeah. And then he does his show.
And again, we don't hear it.
No.
We see him go on stage.
Yeah.
Cuts away to Jerry and Marsha. And that's when she sings to him.
Yeah.
And I was blown away.
Yeah, indeed. And when she cut, you know, Jerry kind of, you know, understands what's going on with Marsha. And
he doesn't give her anything at first. He just stays silent. That's what I love about that scene. That whole sequence is quite long, but it's cut up over the course of the third act. But it's her, and he's just sitting there giving her nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, she just wants to be crazy.
Yeah.
You know, she wants to have, like, she flees
She wants
everything.
she wants to make love on the table.
Yeah. You know what? When she moved all that stuff off the table and all the candles went down.
Were you thinking of the candles as
Yeah.
well? The moment she suggested it, I was like, yeah, but what about the candles? Soon as, because she suggests it, but she doesn't do it until much later on. And as soon as she suggested it, I was like, yeah, but what about the candles? You'd have to.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only one. But yeah, and when she does it, why doesn't the house go? Yes, do you know what? It's such a
Yeah.
I have to. Safety first.
Maybe it's marble floors or something. Or maybe they went out when they whatever. They just yada yada it, don't they? You just have to yada yada it.
Yeah, but it's such a strange thing to fixate on candles.
I'm always like that though. Whenever I'm watching a film, there's like somebody does something or suggests something or whatever. I'm just like,
yeah, but how?
But what about? But what about the mess? I've always wanted to just kind of like just clear a table, just like, for whatever reason, like. Be it I'm angry or be it just passion or whatever, but after it's like, but what about the mess?
Somebody's got to clear it up.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to clear it up, It's like the thing in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's like, blame it on the janitor and make a quick getaway. But you can't do that at home.
No, you can't, definitely not.
You can't be like suddenly like, Xavier, what did you do? Like, I didn't do it, I promise. No, clean it up. That's just terrible parenting. Why would you suggest that? That's terrible. I can't believe you. Wow. Married a monster.
You married me?
Question mark? Did that baby monitor get turned up again?
I don't know.
Wow.
The battery's dying on it.
Is that what it does?
It just decides to turn itself
off. It just turns itself up. It's like a cry for help. Oh my... But we keep it plugged in all the time.
Yeah. Or it might be that it's running on battery. I don't know.
So he does his routine.
Yes.
And then... But now he wants to watch it somewhere.
Yeah.
He wants to go somewhere to watch it.
And of course...
Because that was his thing. It's like, no, not until it airs.
Yeah.
He's whole, he knows
he
that
won't
if he
let
gives
Jerry go.
Because they'll just cut it from
Yeah, exactly.
So he wants to make sure it's aired. But he wants to go watch it somewhere and he turns up at Rita's bar.
Yeah. And he changes the channel and gets...
And we finally get to see his routine.
Yeah.
What did you think of his routine?
It was alright.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It was of its day.
Yeah,
you can imagine like, I don't know, Jasper Carrot or something. It's like that. But I appreciated the fact that within the reality of the movie, his stuff was spot on.
Yes.
It was good material.
Yeah, it was good material.
I mean, there were a couple of jokes that got me.
The one on the stairs where he goes, here, it gives him his card.
No, I'm talking about his routine.
His routine. Sorry, I had that in my head.
Oh yeah, my pride and joy.
But did you know?
But did you know?
All right, but they were actually products from that era. One was like a
yeah, I get that.
But
that was a good joke.
Yeah, that was a good joke.
Hey, do you want to see a picture of my pride and joy? But no, when you're watching his routine, there were a couple of jokes that got me. I can't remember them.
No.
But they were like, that was pretty funny. But I appreciate the fact that he didn't fall flat. It wasn't, because he asks him at the beginning, like, are you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. He believes in himself. Yeah. And that and the fact that you didn't hear his humour throughout the whole film.
Yeah.
Because he's not a jokey character. He doesn't crack jokes all the time with people. So my assumption was that he wasn't a very good comedian. And then we hear that advice from the studio lady. And it's good, solid advice. Yeah, it's not like she was like, no, you're shit. Yeah. Give it don't quit your day job. And that's what I was expecting. But she gives him good, solid advice and he rejects it and just wants it now.
Yeah.
And then you hear his material and within the reality of the film, it is good material.
Yeah, it is.
And I was kind of relieved.
I have to agree with that. Because, you kind of root for him at this point. He's done everything he can to get to where he wants to be.
Yeah, misguided as it was.
Yeah, of course. But he worked
You kind of, yeah,
funny sort of way.
you
He
wanted
worked
him to
hard,
succeed.
yeah, and he worked hard for it in his
Yeah.
own weird kind of way.
He wanted to take a short. He didn't want to wait.
No,
Because his whole thing at the beginning is I'm 33.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't want to wait anymore
No,
around
he
anymore.
said he's had, he wanted to get out. Basically, he wanted to show himself, and then he got there, and.
But my point was that it wasn't a case of like he was 33 and he was bad at what he did.
No.
He hadn't put himself in front of people yet. He just expected to meet Jerry, and Jerry plucks him from obscurity. He didn't think he had to graft.
No, he just wanted it there and then. That's quite relevant to the culture.
Well,
now,
I mean, I think it's relevant to a lot of decades.
Yeah.
There's always been that person who, like Charles Manson, for example.
Yeah.
He was a writer and he wanted, and he was a singer-songwriter and he wanted fame, but he wasn't. He expected to just kind of mix with the right people. He was a star chaser, and he expected to just mix with the right people, and they'd make his dreams come true for him, and not realizing that those people got where they were by grafting.
Yeah.
And now he is famous, but he had to murder a bunch of people in order to achieve that. And that's what I was expecting from this. I was expecting it to...
But it's what we said at the beginning. I mean, you're kind of always teetering on the edge, expecting him to explode and do something really extremely violent.
But
and he never, ever goes that way, ever.
Yeah, even when he's being arrested, he's like, all right, well, good night, everyone,
And even at the end of his his comedy show, when he's on the show, he as everybody thinks it's a joke, but he's saying, I kidnapped Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, not Jerry Lewis, Jerry Langford.
Yeah.
But
Who
nobody,
said that?
Yeah?
Who says that?
He says that.
Who?
Pipkin.
Popkin.
You did that on purpose.
Absolutely.
Popkin says it himself. He explains the whole situation.
Yeah, I could. That's how else do I get onto TV?
Yeah.
That's it.
And they all just think it's a joke. And then, he gets arrested.
And tomorrow, and he says, "You'll see tomorrow." And
he admits it all. And then he goes to jail for 2 years.
No, he was sentenced to 6 years. And he does 2 years 9 months. And then comes out a celebrity, writes a book called King for a Day.
And then
gets his own show
and
the movie and everything like that. But again, is that what happened?
Yeah, because
is this just Popkin? Is this Popkin on his way to the jail?
Yeah.
What he's imagined. We're inside his head. He hasn't even been booked yet.
We don't know, and that's the exquisiteness of this film, is that you don't know whether it's in his head or if it actually happened. Because
the thing is as well that fame or infamy or whatever, that's completely believable. That's what would have happened. He would have come out of prison, got a book deal, got a film deal, got a TV show. No one was murdered, no one was hurt, etc., etc. That would have happened.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it, you wonder, like, at the end. Because at the end as well, it ends a bit, that last shot, like the audio, it's just a little bit off-center.
Yeah.
It's a little, everything that's happening, the color palette, the audio thing that keeps looping, the shot, how long it just lingers on him, it's all just totally a little bit off-center.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Are we seeing what's actually happening, or is it an unreliable narrator situation?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, completely. I mean, okay. So the performances in this movie are amazing. A lot of it isn't scripted.
Yeah, a lot of it's improvised.
Yeah, a lot of it's improvised. I mean,
there was a lot. Especially the Jerry Marsha scene, which we both loved.
Yeah.
I wondered how much of that was improvised.
Well,
that whole thing about her parents. I was like, is that...
Scorsese kind of gave her cues just to do what she wanted and be... He said he wanted it all to be quite natural. So yes, she kind of had... He just
let everyone off their leash.
Yeah, basically. That's exactly what he did. He just let everybody off their leash.
Do you think that's why Jerry Lewis has such a kind of I don't know, it's like he's really pulled back. He's quite reserved. performance.
Yeah, because he wasn't comfortable. He's never done anything like that
and
before.
it kind of oddly works for the character. He's a
yeah.
man who's uncomfortable with his life. That scene where he's all alone.
Yeah, with his dog.
Yeah, he's just all alone. And
you could tell he was a lonely man.
Yeah,
I mean,
but he's uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know, that's what I mean. He's just like, he's uncomfortable with the loneliness. And because his performance throughout that whole film, he is just not at ease throughout the scene in the limo. I loved that moment that gets frozen for the credits. That was such a great shot.
Yeah.
Of Rupert's eyes through Marsha's hands.
Yeah.
Like she's inside the limo and her hands are on the glass and you can see him outside and the flash. And it was just such a great But yeah, I mean, he's just throughout the whole film, Joe Lewis it always looks like he's just looking for an exit. You know, when you're in an uncomfortable conversation, you can feel your feet shifting. You know, you can feel your hips shifting. You're like, okay, all right, and you can feel your body like moving, like turning away from them, but you're still watching them. You're like just waiting for that right pause in the scene, in the sentence. Just kind of that's how his whole performance feels.
Yeah, but he wasn't, like we've said, he wasn't sure he wanted to even do this movie. Even Robert De Niro wrote a letter to Scorsese saying that he wasn't sure. But Scorsese convinced him, and it works. It really works between the two of them.
I think you have to be quite, I don't know, brave, I guess. You know, to do something like that. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
lot of expectation.
Especially for somebody that's not really used to that kind of environment.
But I thought De Niro was a bit of a, you know, he's of that school of theatre where they all just kind of...
I mean, everybody else in the movie, the main characters were of that ilk.
Okay. It's a great performance from everyone. Do you think... Okay, so Robert De Niro is, you know, is in The Joker, and he's now playing the Jerry Langford character.
Yeah.
Now, we was going to talk about this at the beginning, but I feel like we can talk about it now, I guess. We sort of skipped past it. We didn't even, try to talk about it. We just ended up straight in the movie. But so The Joker is kind of what I get. We're recording this a week before it comes out.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen it. The only people who've really seen it are, media people and stuff.
Previews and things.
And there's a lot of shit going around about how, that it's like an incels... call to arms kind of thing.
Yeah.
But because it's kind of like, I guess, the King of Comedy meets Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
That's what I can see from it. It's all very Martin Scorsese-esque, and they've obviously taken beats from the King of Comedy for this story.
You can see from
even the fact that they got De Niro back.
Yeah, completely. You can see the beats in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel? I mean, what do you think of that when you hear this kind of? I mean, violent movies come out all the time.
They do. I think because do you remember that a few years ago the Batman movie came out and
but that's where it's coming from.
Yeah,
the whole
and that's where it's coming from. But I don't think it's innately the movie. I just think
these things happen.
These things happen.
Yeah.
And people are now associating it because
they're trying to find a target.
They're trying to find a
target.
Yeah. And they don't want. If you read The Joker and you know who the Joker is, you know it's going to be a violent movie anyway, either one way or another.
You mentioned something when we were talking about this before, where you were talking about protagonists and how you're always meant to sympathise with protagonists.
Yes.
So do you think that's where that's coming from?
Yeah.
That people are worried that audiences are going to sympathise with this Joker and they're going to make him a sympathetic character?
Yes. I think people are going to... But how can you... You don't want to hate your main character. You don't want to hate your main protagonist. So there's always going to be an element of sympathy from the viewer.
But the thing is, you say that, but there's a lot of movies where the protagonist is... You're supposed to dislike them. Dislike, but
that doesn't mean that you don't sympathise with them.
You sympathise with... Like if you watch Falling Down is basically it's the midlife crisis. It's this kind of it's that point where you just fucking hate everything, and everyone's been there, and but how it's there's catharsis in that movie, but you realize that this is the bad guy. You know that this is the bad guy. There comes a point, for like the first couple of acts. Yeah. For the first 2 acts, there is a lot of catharsis in that movie, and then he crosses a line, and the movie acknowledges that he has now crossed the line, and this is no longer a sympathetic character. Yeah. And I think we're jumping the gun on the Joker. We're just expecting them to end the movie with him like the hero. Yeah. Whereas I think it is going to be very much a fall from grace kind of movie. I think at the beginning when he adopts the Joker persona, it's going to be this kind of like, fuck yeah kind of thing. And then we're going to see what it actually... The deterioration. Or not so much the deterioration, but the descent, or the kind of like... Yeah, the Joker's... You think the Joker's cool, but this is what it means... To be the Joker. To be the Joker. Yeah. This is what the Joker means. Because, Heath Ledger's Joker is cool. Yeah. But he's very clearly a villain. Yes. I mean... Yeah. And I think too many people unironically admire these kind of characters. We've actually had a conversation about that in the past where we've believed that, you're right, they are admired. Yeah. I think you can admire a villain and you can admire a villain within a story without admiring the villain themselves. Yeah. And we admire the Joker as a villain in a story. We don't admire the Joker. Oh God, no! As oh God, no! Themselves. Can you imagine that actually happening in reality? Something as heinous as what heinous? Yeah, we wouldn't be like. We wouldn't be like, which one is it? Heinous or heinous? Heinous. I hate heinous. I think heinous is heinous.
I don't know.
I like heinous.
Is it just one of those words where people can pronounce it any other way?
It's either. Yeah. It's heinous. What's the thing? Highness.
King of comedy.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. The thing is, if a movie like The Joker spurs someone to shoot up a place,
then they were going to do it anyway. Yeah. I think. I think that there
exactly.
was. I don't think
they were just waiting for something to give them the excuse.
I don't.
How cynical is that, though? Yeah, man. If someone was going to do it, they're going to do it anyway.
But it happens.
Yeah. Before we know, like, a movie might. Sorry, I'm just putting my iPad down. Before we know, like, that the person who would have been spurred by the Joker movie...
Would have been spurred by something else.
Yeah, they could just watch an episode of Law & Order a week before, and that might spur them instead. Yeah.
We don't know. We can't predict these things, and you're right, they do exist.
I think instead of blaming a movie for something like this, try and figure out why these things keep happening.
But, every so often, more often than not, either games are blamed for something.
Yeah, it's just exactly. The Joker is just the Joker movie is just this week's scapegoat.
Yeah, exactly.
Next month or next year, something else will come out after X number of violent incidences, and then somebody's going to be like, "Yeah, that's the reason why these things keep happening." Things like that. We're not looking at why it is these things keep happening. We're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, we're not doing anything about it. We're just looking for something to blame.
It's much easier to blame something than to figure it out. Yeah. It's a whole different discussion.
We'll go on for hours with that.
I know. Violent movies come out all the time.
They do, and not every violent movie is coincided with a violent act.
And the fact is, we don't know what this movie's message is yet.
No, we don't. We haven't seen it.
If this time next year it turns out that movie's message does align with what everybody's scared of, then I'll eat my words. In fact, next month I will come on here and I'll apologise. Yes. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know what the movie's message is. No. We don't know where the character ends at the end. We don't know where the audience's perspective is placed by the end of the film. No. So,
all we've got are a few snippets of the movie that we don't even know that are going to be there or not.
Yeah, and the parents of the Aurora victims who have kind of like, who are sort of I don't know.
Trying to boycott the movie.
Well, I wanted to sort of say like sort of attaching their feelings because to this movie, I
can understand where it comes from.
I can yeah, exactly. I get exactly where that's coming from.
Yeah.
But I feel like the thing is, since the Aurora thing happened, nothing's changed. If anything, it's just getting worse. And a lot of people are attaching these incidences to this film, and that's probably struck a nerve with them.
Yeah.
And they still need something to change and someone to be held accountable.
Yeah, and that's it.
And the social media is just kind of rolling with it.
Yeah.
You know, they're just rolling with it and just I don't know, fertilizing it. You know.
It's just they're just making it worse. To be honest, it's grow. They're not really looking at the reasons behind it all. It's just making it worse, and people are latching onto it, and they're not really looking at the facts or.
I think
anything.
we just hurt.
Yeah.
I think just as a society we hurt at the moment, and every single different section of society just wants to blame someone. Someone has to pay, whether you're on the whichever side of the end of the spectrum politically you are. There's just someone needs to be held to account. Someone needs to pay. Every side of the political argument has the same sort of, I don't know.
Agenda.
Yeah, someone has to be held to account.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I guess as a species, we don't really like taking responsibility for.
Well, the thing is, this is it. There is responsibility all around to a certain degree, depending on what we're talking about right now.
Indeed.
Okay, there is a certain amount of responsibility all around. There are certain issues where responsibility is very much balanced in one end.
Yeah.
But with everything that's happening, so, you know, economically, socially, politically, everybody just needs someone to be held accountable. And right now, the Joker movie is just one thing in a long line of a lot of things that just people want to hold it to account for something. Yeah. And there are people out there that need to be held to account, but they never will be. So we're just lashing out at unrelated things.
Yeah. And that's what it is. We can't punish the
we can't punish the powerful.
People the powerful, so therefore we're going to go punish something else underneath.
Yeah. Even if it is a movie.
As well.
Yeah, but how do you punish a movie?
No, yeah. Yes.
You can't punish a movie, and you can't stop a studio from releasing a movie, especially a movie that is tracking this well. It would just be financial suicide. Regardless of what that movie's message is, it's being released.
Yeah. Indeed. But on a lighter note, so, king of comedy, yay or no?
I absolutely enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be recommending this movie.
I agree.
Yeah, I think this is one I want to come back to. I think this is this movie is a weird masterclass in just, I don't know, there's just so much to learn from this movie. There's the whole psychosis thing. They don't overplay it.
No, they don't.
It's so
well and subtly done that do you know what
that restaurant scene. The restaurant scene.
Wait. They take the audience seriously. And
well, I mean, look at the time it was being made. That's really, you know, it's Martin Scorsese, for goodness sake. He always takes his audience seriously, even when he's doing.
But we're not being spoon-fed, is what I'm saying.
Like the restaurant scene. That's where he just basically shows it.
Yeah.
You're having where suddenly Jerry and Rupert are having dinner at a restaurant, and he's like, "Come on, Rupert, you gotta help me. You gotta take over the show for 6 weeks and stuff like that." And he's like, "Oh, Jerry, I can't do it. You know, I'm very busy. I'm a very busy man." And then it keeps cutting to him and he's
home.
Yeah, and he's at home, in what looks like his basement.
Yeah.
Straight away, we get this. That's where he's like, "All right, we're gonna ease you into this by showing you exactly what's actually happening." But for the rest of the movie, you're on your own to figure it out.
Yeah, which is why, I'd love to see that movie again, just to see if I can pinpoint.
How do you watch movies? You sneak up on them. The movie doesn't even know you're watching it.
Pinpoint those moments. I'd like to see what the difference is, the difference in colour or the difference in...
How much of every conversation he has is real and how much of it isn't.
See if I can figure out whether the ending is real or not.
Yeah. It's I think it's a better ambiguous ending than Inception.
Yes.
Because it's so much bigger.
Yeah.
You know, it's this whole kind of like, hey, the world's in frenzy over the sky. And then that last shot, you're suddenly like, wait, is all that real? Mm. You know, it's all of it is so like, yeah, I get it. That would totally happen. And then that very last shot, you're like, oh shit, was that real? Oh, wait, no, wait. Maybe no. Okay,
so we only watched it last night, but it's been on my mind that the ending has been kind of trying to figure out whether or not what in that is real and what isn't, and if it is.
Yeah. Do you know what's also been?
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. Do you know what's also been on my mind for most of the day? Rupert's suits.
Yes. Oh God, those polyester horrible. Those nasty
the 3-piece suit.
Oh.
But then that's it as well. In the restaurant, that's as soon as I saw like the cut of his tie, I was like, oh, this is a fantasy.
Yeah.
This is a fantasy. Because I went into this movie knowing that he's schizophrenic.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw that tie in the restaurant, because that's the first shot we get of his like delusions, I was like, oh, this must be fantasy because that's a really nice tie. This is where we learn about his mental illness.
Yeah.
I wish I'd gone into the film not knowing about the whole, like knowing the whole kidnap storyline, but not knowing the whole psychosis angle, because that would have made for a much more interesting ride for me.
I didn't. I had no idea what the movie was about.
Ah, you're lucky.
So I just
went in often there. We're in that position where I know something. Like when we went to see The Force Awakens,
yes,
and I knew Solo died, and I was like. So,
and I was like, ah!
Yeah, the whole time you're like, yay, Han Solo! Woo! I'm like, oh man, he's gonna die at some point. Oh man, is it this scene? No. Oh, he survived this scene. Oh man, it must be the next scene then. Oh shit!
Stay away from social media.
He just saw Princess Leia. That means he's gonna die any moment now. And that's why when he was on the bridge with Kylo, I was like, oh shit, here it comes, here it comes.
You're dead. He did.
I got no dad. So cool. So yeah, I had fun doing this one.
I did too.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little buzzed right now, so we're on our third beer.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
we'll call it a day. Our next one's in 2 weeks. Oh shit, we haven't done... We need to... Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah. So, let's see if you remember your Twitter handle.
Do you know what? I haven't been on Twitter for so long.
I know.
Amara_secrets? Is it Amara lives? I can't remember.
I'm just looking you up.
This is how long I haven't been on Twitter. He actually has to look me up.
Yeah, it is. You're Amara_secrets.
Okay, so you can at me at Amara_secrets.
I'm at Frenchy Balls. I regret my one. Frenchy Balls. I don't even think about it, to be honest, until I actually have to say it. I lived with it for like since Twitter started.
Yeah, gosh.
And at the time it was just a joke because I didn't realize Twitter was going to be such a big deal. No one knew Twitter was going to be such a big deal. Twitter has made and broken careers.
Yes.
No one knew, so I was just like, fuck it, Frenchy Balls. Because it was my nickname at the time. Like a friend of mine at the time would always go, oi, Frenchy Balls. Just call me Frenchy Balls all the time. And they were the one who got me into Twitter. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll try this Twitter malarkey. So yeah, at Frenchy Balls. This is why I'm 3 beers in, okay? I'm at that kind of like, yeah. And then I'm that. So yeah. What's your Twitter handle?
Amara_secrets.
Yeah, she got it right. At Frenchie Balls.
And we will see you in a few weeks.
We are the first. Every episode. It's the first and third Monday of the month. Mm-hmm. Should have said that up top.
Yes, we should have.
Yeah, first and third Monday of every month.
And then there's something exciting else coming on with you.
I got another podcast with my mate Dowdy called Two Guys, One Comic, where we read a comic and we talk about it. It's basically what you and I were supposed to do, but we were really rubbish at it.
Yeah.
Dowdy, on the other hand, he
knows his
he
style.
sends me texts. He's like, "So you read it yet?" Like, oh shit. I mean, the first one we did was something I'd read, so I was quite familiar with it. But yeah, I got to read his next one now. So yeah. So I'll leave links for everything down below. So yeah, until next time, it's goodbye from her.
And it's goodbye from him.